Pxhi Phonex Holdings Incorporated Technical Analysis. General Overview and Trend. Pxhi has been trading in a range over the past 3 months with significant volatility. The stock has seen prices ranging from a low of $131 to a high of $175. The most recent price from August 15 closed at $175, which is near the high end of its recent range. The stock experienced some substantial price swings, particularly on June 6 when it moved from $149 to $155, and on August 15 when it jumped from $145 to $175. Looking at the trend, the stock appears to be in an uptick recently, especially with the strong move on the last trading day where it closed at the high of the day with substantial volume. Price and volume analysis. The price action shows that Pxhi has been quite volatile. On August 15, the stock had a significant bullish move, opening at $145 and closing at $175, which represents a gain of 20.69% in a single day. The volume on this day was 136,198, which is substantially higher than the average volume, indicating strong buying interest. Looking at volume patterns, we can see that higher volume days often correspond with significant price movements. For example, on June 17, volume was 49,400 with a price of $142.75, and on June 23, volume was 48,120 with a price of $157. The recent surge in both price and volume on August 15 suggests strong momentum. Moving averages EMA and SMA. Looking at the moving averages, short-term averages show that the 5-day EMA at 148.21 is above the 5-day SMA at 142.72, indicating recent upward momentum. Medium-term averages are all relatively close to each other, suggesting a consolidation phase before the recent breakout. Longer-term averages like the 50-day SMA at 1,395 and the 50-day EMA at 138.48 are below the current price, which is a bullish signal. The fact that the current price of $175 is above all these moving averages suggests a bullish trend. The MRs are generally higher than the corresponding SMAs, which also indicates upward momentum. Technical indicators. Trend indicators show that MACD at 00181 is above its signal line at 00046, with a positive histogram at 00135, indicating bullish momentum. ADX at 1262.36 and ADXR at 1237.49 are relatively low, suggesting the trend is not extremely strong. A rune up at 100.0 and a rune down at 92.0 both show high values, with a rune oscillator at 1428.57, indicating a potential uptrend. Momentum indicators show RSI at 69.59.12 is approaching overbought territory, suggesting strong momentum but potentially due for a pullback. Williams R at -00 indicates overbought conditions. MFI at 78.2801 is in overbought territory, suggesting strong buying pressure. CCI at 283.1291 is extremely high, indicating strong momentum. ROC at 22.3776 shows positive momentum. Volatility indicators show Bollinger Bands with the upper band at 162.28, middle at 142.97, and lower at 123.65. The current price of $175 is above the upper band, suggesting the stock is overextended. ATR at 00741 indicates the average true range is about 5.3% of the current price, showing moderate volatility. Volume indicators show Chaikin oscillator at 32741 9132 is positive, indicating accumulation. OBV at 1756710 is positive, suggesting buying pressure. Linear regression. While not explicitly provided in the data, we can infer from the price action and technical indicators that the linear regression trend would be upward, especially given the recent price surge and the fact that the stock is trading above most of its moving averages. Next trading day opening prediction. Given the strong close at the high of the day on August 15 with substantial volume, it's likely that the next trading day could open higher. The momentum indicators all suggest strong bullish momentum, which could carry over to the next session. However, since the stock is overextended above the upper Bollinger Band and RSI is approaching overbought levels, there could be some initial profit taking. A reasonable prediction would be an opening around 172 to 177, potentially with some volatility as traders digest the strong move from the previous session. Support and resistance analysis. Based on the data, the immediate resistance would be at the recent high of 175. If the stock breaks above this, the next resistance level isn't clearly defined in the data, but could be around 180 to 185 based on the extension from the Bollinger Band upper level. Support levels show the first support would be around 145, which was the previous day's low. Below that, support could be found at the recent consolidation levels around 138 to 142. Further support is at the 50-day SMA level of 1,395. The current price of 175 is at resistance, suggesting that the stock could face some selling pressure at these levels. However, the strong momentum could carry it higher. Based on the current price's distance from support and resistance, intraday movements could see the stock testing the 175 level initially. If it holds, we could see further upside. If it fails, a pullback towards the 165 to 170 range could occur. Possible high and low values based on ATR 14. The ATR 14 value is 00741. This suggests that the average daily range is about 00741. The possible high for the next session would be 175 plus 00741, which equals 182.41. The possible low for the next session would be 175 minus 00741, which equals 167.59. However, given the strong momentum and the fact that the stock closed at the high of the day, these ranges could be exceeded. Possible scenarios. In a bullish scenario, if the momentum continues, the stock could break above the 175 resistance and move higher. The overbought indicators could persist in a strong trending environment, and the stock could potentially reach 185 to 190 in the short term. Volume would need to remain strong to support such a move. In a neutral scenario, the stock could consolidate around current levels, with the 175 level acting as both support and resistance. This would allow the overbought indicators to normalize before the next directional move. In a bearish scenario, given the overextended nature of the stock above the upper Bollinger Band and high RSI, a pullback could occur. If selling pressure emerges, the stock could retrace to the 165 to 170 level, or even back to the 145 support. This would be a healthy correction after the strong move. Conclusion. Pxhi has shown a strong bullish move recently, closing at 175 on high volume. The technical indicators mostly suggest upward momentum, but also warn of overbought conditions. The stock is at a critical juncture, facing resistance at current levels. The next session could see some volatility as the market decides whether to continue the uptrend or to consolidate or pull back. Traders should watch for a sustained move above 175 for further upside, or a failure at this level for a potential pullback. Risk management is crucial given the current overextended nature of the stock.